Hello, this is Pastor Bob coming to our church family, FCF Church, with a heads up. We are looking at Thursday through Saturday, January 5th through 7th, for a time of fasting and prayer, calling us together for a weekend of fasting and prayer. Now, let me just say some things about fasting. I don't believe that fasting should be entered into lightly. I don't believe that we should answer every call around us to fast and to pray. Fasting should be a response to being gripped, either individually or collectively, with a sense of concern or urgency. It should be an expression of sincere dependency upon God. And if that's the case, the focus is not going to be on what we're giving up, but on what we're pursuing. And in that pursuit, our decision to fast will lend authenticity and authority to our prayers. So we're calling for fasting and prayer. It's through fasting we embrace humility, setting aside entitlement, self-gratification, self-preservation, in order to partner with God to see His purposes advance and His promises fulfilled. Fasting should not be entered into with a sense of obligation or compulsion. You're not doing it because the pastor said you had to, but out of a willingness and a joyful response to God's call. And because of this, I encourage those who can give themselves fully to fasting to do so. And for others, I urge them to determine in their hearts before God what level of fasting they can commit themselves to, and then commit themselves. When Jill Weber was with us from Greater Ontario House of Prayer, this was just prior to the COVID pandemic, she described a prophetic picture that she was seeing during worship. And in that picture, Jill saw us in a place of comfort and security, near to the Father's heart. And then she saw a time of shaking that would come. And she described it as a time of squeezing, a time of discomfort and uncertainty, a process which would result in enlargement. It would be good. This process was a time of transition. It was a time filled with complexities. It would result in maturity. It would birth us into a new place in God. And after this process, we would live in a place of enlargement, a whole new reality. What would it take for us to go through that process? It would take a passion to see God's purposes fulfilled in this region and throughout this nation. It would take a fearless faith to embrace the process God was going to take us through. It would take a confidence that God was birthing us into something bigger, and a willingness to courageously let go of the familiar to move into that new place. I believe that this year, 2023, we're going to see that birthing take place. It's going to be a season of breakthrough. And it's going to be a season of entering into that new place. There's still many unknowns that we're facing. We're still feeling squeezed. We're still experiencing discomfort. There's still a lot of complexity and uncertainty. And we're going to need to rest on God's word. We're going to need to unite together in trusting His faithfulness and in pursuing His purposes. So, I'm inviting you to begin the year together in fasting and prayer. There's going to be times to connect in prayer by Zoom and in person. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to provide a Zoom connection for every in-house meeting. We're going to try. You need to look at the schedule, sending it out with the email, and see how you can be a part. It will have times and themes, and then let's come together for worship, for prayer, and for fasting. Thank you so much for the tremendous level of faithfulness and commitment that is represented by the people of Flamborough Christian Fellowship. FCF Church is amazing, and I am so glad to be a part of it. May God bless you.